The Echo?
No,
Well, then it's gonna be here forever. You should have just fixed it before you went live, bro.
I don't know how to do it,
Well, I
bro.
okay.
Bro.
Well,
Yeah,
now we'll just have an Echo. There
that's
you
fine.
go.
Is
Just
it fine?
gonna blame you.
I was gonna tell you how to fix it, but you just fired it off. But that's
Yeah,
fine.
with 10 seconds to spare. Yeah. Well, let's see here. Let's see here. CC here. Twitch.tv / Cool. Skeet. What's up, dude? Crystal. Sup, dude? But you're not a dude.
Dude.
Or are you? Do you dude?
Definitely
even
not a dude.
do you even
Well,
dude, bro?
do you even dude,
Can
bro?
con- can confirm, not a dude.
Good
Gross.
stuff. Good stuff. I usually confirm my things through books.
Books are good. Experience is good as well.
Hmm. Kid. Hello there.
Kid, thanks for the gifts. They finally got here 8 months later. I don't know how long ago you sent them. It had been at least a month.
You got your gifts?
The gifts finally came.
That's messed up, man. I didn't get any gifts.
I had one sitting on the camera, but I kept falling off, so you can't see it really, but it's on top of that Rubik's Cube right there. There's a little UFO, 3D printed UFO sitting right there.
Nope, can't see it. You're gonna have
Yep.
to go get it and show it to everybody.
There's also this
What
Oh,
is
check that out.
little 3D printed snail
Mhm.
guy,
Is that like an alien face on a snail guy?
little alien snail.
Little
And
alien
then
snail. I like it.
where's the oh, there's a fidget spinner. It's over there next to some decorative stuff we have. Thanks, kid.
Dang, kid, you shaved your head and tattooed it? Damn.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Look at the picture in the group chat.
Hold the phone.
She tattooed her head.
You tattooed your head, bro? That's ballsy.
Kid, can I show it? Can I show it to everybody?
She told me about this, and I was like, "No, don't do it. You'll never be the CEO of anything." She's like, "I can grow my hair out," and I was like, "Maybe."
Is it wearing a sweater? It looks like it's wearing a sweater.
Damn, that's awesome. I've always wanted to tattoo my head because I am bald, but I have to tattoo the rest of me first, right? Like I feel like I need to get the neck done, and like then once I get the head done, I won't look like people already look at me like I'm a criminal. I feel like I don't know. I just
Oh, I definitely look at you like you're a criminal.
Yeah, well, we
chicks
know that you're a
chicks I feel like
criminal.
can pull it off a little easier. See, that's what I'm saying, right?
I judge you every time I look at your face.
Every time. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm judging you right now,
Thanks.
I am as well.
criminal.
You're kind of being a criminal right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gross. It's
Mhm.
gross to look at.
Well, I'm definitely on a list.
Yep.
Well, we know that you're not on the no-fly list.
We do know I'm not on the no-fly list,
look.
unless they let
Check
it
it-
slide that time
Check it out, everybody. Look,
on purpose.
this is kid's head.
That's her head.
That is her head.
That's
And this
it.
is a basket of flowers. I originally thought that was popcorn. Like, there's a story here, and I need to know what it is. It's pretty cool, kid.
Oh, it's the basket of petunias. It's from
Is it a
it's
movie?
from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the
You know
whale.
what's crazy?
Got the bath towel.
Oh, it's a towel.
Oh yeah, it's a bowl of petunias. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What's crazy is I've seen that movie too. I don't remember that.
It's when the two missiles got turned into bowl of petunias and the whale.
It was a book first.
I like your shirt, Jake.
I have the book
Thanks,
actually.
dude.
I just haven't read it.
I'm gonna send this to my the shirt to my cousin who's an astronaut.
You know what another one of my favorite memes is that one, and then the red stripe that's going through is like the snake's tongue, like the snake's tongue is out, like
Demonic.
yeah, it's a good one.
That sounds like a good one. So I am looking at all the different things I'm gonna make with this 3D printer. I can't wait to get it. People are making like full size dinosaur skeletons, like 6 foot tall, just piece by piece by piece by piece. I'm like, that's dope.
No
Will
shit.
you make me stuff?
Huh?
Will you make me stuff?
Yeah, sure. I just never send it to you. That's all.
That's obvious.
Zing.
Got
How
him.
much is a
He's
good
like,
3D printer these days?
No lies detected. What's up?
How much is a good 3D printer these days?
I mean, I looked at a couple reviews for the one that I got. That's like, I mean, you can make stuff that's 1.5 feet tall, pretty big things. Like, and it was $500.
Not the question that was asked.
Five?
Yeah.
$500 for like a. You can make mugs. You can make mug size shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's different materials that you could use, but I don't know about like the resilience of it, and also like, should you use it for like drinkware type stuff?
Sure.
You know. But I
But
mean,
you can
like,
always chain pieces together. Like you could build pieces that fit together. That's the key. I like to make some of those things for my VR headset, the like the controller mounts, so that
sure, yeah.
my aiming is like more on point. Some of those.
Dude, I'm looking
Anyways,
at like model helicopters and stuff now.
and
I'm
then
gonna make
little
a
trinkets. Like
53.
what kids think.
I'm making an MH53 that's like takes up half the ceiling.
Hell
But LEDs in it and stuff. It's gonna be super cool.
yeah, man. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I need to figure out how to like design stuff on the computer versus just buying people's files, because that's where the money comes in. When you get a 3D printer, you start figuring this stuff out, and then you're able to make it, and then other people buy it. Like this guy, he made a full set of Iron Man armor. That is so cool.
That is pretty cool.
And they're like, apparently there's so many different types of filaments. Like you can get ones that have like a metallic sheen to them and all kinds of stuff.
For guns.
Yeah, for guns, for armor. Like I want to do a full suit of like samurai armor and have it like sitting back there in the corner or something.
Hell yeah, dude.
That
That'd be
would be
sick.
Dope.
Hell yeah.
But I'm gonna do like I was looking at plans for a jackalope skeleton or a
Yeah.
skull with the antlers, and there's also another one called a frogalope.
It'll just take like a long fucking time, and isn't the filament like not cheap?
Filament's, I guess, relatively cheap, but yeah, the one I got, it says it could do like 500 millimeters a minute or something like that, which I guess is a lot, but still, yeah, some of the builds take 24 hours straight of printing. But I mean, set it
Sup,
up, go to
y'all?
work, you know.
that? The Game Master 2024. Who that? What up?
That is from YouTube. The Game
YouTube,
Master. What's up?
What it do?
We have to
What it
we
do?
watch for those people from YouTube because I don't get updates for them, unfortunately.
And they get all
The,
pissed off and leave.
they do. Yeah, if you're watching from YouTube, you should head on over to Twitch. We have a pretty lively chat over there. Be part of that. Part of the fun. So what do you think, guys? You guys ready to kick this off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. We got another message from YouTube. Hasn't updated over here yet. I just stopped by the page real quick to see if there was anything. Jonesin for Meaning says you better hurry up because it's looking like they're gonna outlaw 3D printing because of Mangione's ghost gun.
Ghost guns, bro. Everybody be afraid of ghost guns. What even is that? Define a ghost gun. Please give me a clear definition of ghost.
It's a gun firearm that's made at home that doesn't have a serial number.
Oh, is that the legal
Oh.
definition?
Yeah.
What's the legal definition of an assault weapon? Assault
That is
rifle.
made up.
Right. Ghost
This is
gun is
made up
also
term, yeah.
made up.
Well, yeah, but that's like what people are talking about. But
Hey,
they would say
talk
an
about whatever
80%
you
lower is a ghost gun too.
Talk about
It's
a
basically
ghost gun.
because not
Black
every
Ops
state.
6.
It's basically
You
because
unlock
not
your
every state
ghost
has
gun.
registration, and that's what they really want. They want you to have to register that stuff,
Hmm.
like the
Sounds
NFA
cool, though.
items.
What? Wanted to say love your content, binged it all, and now working on Shadowban content. Who is this? Div
Who's that?
Mexican? What up, Div Mexican? You're binging all of our stuff, dude. That's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
So,
Shout out to you.
Absolutely. Here, let's highlight that.
Pin that message, dude.
Bam.
There you go. Bam.
Love it. Fuck yeah. I mean, heck yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
All right. Thanks, Div Mexican. Really appreciate it.
That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of episodes, man.
That's a lot of episodes.
it's a
That's
lot of
wild.
listening to Jeremy's dumb voice
That's right.
and seeing criminal Jeff's face.
Yeah, Criminal Jeff. It's gonna be your new name.
Jeremy's
fits you.
dumb
Dude,
voice.
I'm not a criminal, man. I'm just on
you just look like
one.
some lists.
You play one on a podcast.
No.
Yeah, you look like a criminal. That's enough for me.
Yeah, me too.
It's like Minority Report, except we're just looking at people and being like,
That guy
bad
right there.
person.
I
That guy.
can't say what you look like.
We're,
because
most
there's
people are
pictures
just
of
ugly,
it.
but we're looking at them being like, murder.
All right.
You look like one of those guys.
Mhm.
All right. Let's do this. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Ooh, we got a first time chatter. Another one. BTC XAU thoughts on Bitcoin.
Buy it.
Buy,
This
Buy
is not
all of it.
financial advice. This is not financial advice. But buy it.
buy Shiba too.
Yeah, the meme coins are good too. I don't know. I just decided recently.
Don't buy the hot
I'm just
coin.
gonna start buying Bitcoin. I'm just gonna start buying it all the fucking time because I didn't buy it before, and every time I don't buy it, I fucking regret not buying. I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
10
hold on.
years-
Don't buy the Hawk to a coin.
Let me get
in
the
10
intro on
years,
there.
I'll be
We'll
like,
come
damn,
back.
I'm glad I bought it this time.
All
Can
right,
you
y'all
buy
ready?
portions of a coin?
I'm doing the thing, guys.
Yeah, just go.
I'm gonna do the thing. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Infinite Rabbit Hole, the podcast that goes beyond the ordinary to explore the unexplained. Tired of recycled content? Good, because we dig deeper to uncover fresh perspectives on cryptids, conspiracies, paranormal phenomena, ancient mysteries, and everything else in between. Our hosts bring unique viewpoints and lively debates for diverse insights to make every episode a journey into the unknown, backed by research and knowledge that goes beyond the first page of Google. If you love diving into the unknown with us, we love your support to keep the journey going strong. And here's how you can help. First, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review on your favorite podcast player. It's one of the best ways to help new listeners discover the show. Or if you prefer, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com and drop your review there. For the more immersive experience, join us live on Twitch every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/Infinite Rabbit Hole. Chat with us in real time, share your thoughts, and be part of the action as we explore the unknown together. And for those of you looking for exclusive content and behind the scenes goodies, check out patreon.com/Infinite Rabbit Hole. It's the best way to support the podcast and get access to premium episodes plus more. Thanks for being part of the Infinite Rabbit Hole community. Now, let's get back to exploring the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Doo-doo-doo. All right. Now I've got that out of the way.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Next time you do a spiel and
Yeah.
you're the focus, you should go down to that little layout button and hit speaker, and then you'll
Layout
be the
button.
focus.
How do I
Yeah.
do that? How do I do that?
It says layout. There's a button.
Ooh, there's a layout right there.
Boom.
So it's like this. If I'm the
Yeah.
speaker, it'll go to me, but it's showing Jake. Oh. I don't know if I like that. That's
Probably
gonna
because
be
I
editing.
laughed.
There's another one that says split, I think. Try that one. It shows
Maybe.
all of us. It just shows you as the main.
For those who died, hello from Uganda. What's up?
Dude, Uganda, man. Those are my
Bigfoot
people
milk.
over there.
Fucking A right.
Shout out to Ugandans.
Bigfoot milk.
We took the #1 slot in
That's our thing.
news.
Yeah.
We took #1 in news. Okay. Think about that for a second. Shadow Band Podcast took #1 in news, and we took number 12 in entertainment news.
We
Uganda.
got up to number 2 in Romania in fiction or science fiction.
Yeah, no. We were the news in Uganda. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Think about that for a second.
That's freaking awesome, actually. Hey, BTC, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Very
Hell
much.
yeah, dude.
CNN,
BTC follow.
NBC, Infinite Rabbit Hole.
Buy it.
Good stuff.
They're just hearing us scream at each other about evolution. They're like, gosh, the news is really riveting today.
Hell yeah. All right. With that, let's do a quick update on the Patreon. So let's see, 2 days, January 1st, I'll be dropping John Teeter. As of right now, I'm not finished editing yet. It will be done tomorrow. We're at 2 hours right now worth of John Teeter content for our first ever Patreon exclusive. Actually, I let's not say Patreon exclusive. It's going to be a subscription exclusive because we can also do a subscription service through Spotify, and we're also going to upload it to Spotify. So if you do not like Patreon, don't worry. We got you covered. You can head on over to Spotify and grab your subscription over there too. And I am get this. You guys ready for this? So Skinwalker Ranch was voted on through the social media as the #1 topic to be revisited. So I took it and made it February's bonus content episode on Patreon or our subscription-based services. And where it was originally 21 pages, it is now up to 49. Yeah.
What happened now?
49
what?
49 pages worth of content so
Oh,
far.
jeez.
And I still have 2 books left to go. So, if you want the deepest dive, I'm pretty confident in this. If you want the deepest dive you've ever seen in Skinwalker Ranch or into the topic of Skinwalker Ranch, head on over to Patreon in February. Check it out because it's going to be a doozy.
Jeez.
That's a lot. Are you actually writing the book or is it audio?
No, this will be audio.
A 10-hour
Why don't you
episode.
publish these? Why don't you just publish these scripts as well?
I could. I've been
You
thinking
should.
about it because I currently am working on a book deal, trying to secure or finish up a book deal, and I'm in conversations with 3 separate publishing companies to get a book deal done on a subject that I don't. Well, it's on Elmwood, but I have also been kicking around the idea with one of the publishing companies to publish my notes in groups of 10. So just do 10 random subjects and pop it out as a book. And because I was originally asking them, should I do it where it's, I don't know, we do all UFO experiences or UFO incidents. And he was like, nah, you should just pick 10 random topics that you did and just publish your notes, but make it unique so that people can read the script that you created, but then you can also put in your own personal feelings and thoughts about it. Like talk to the reader as you're going, as if you were talking to your co-hosts throughout the presentation. And I was like, I could do that. So maybe we'll see. I want to get this other one knocked out first. Yeah. We'll see.
Yes, we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe I'll put it up for a vote. What 10 subjects you guys want to see in the first book, or the second book, because the first book's going to be on Elmwood. That's already mostly done. We're going to do some cool on-site research and investigation this summer, and want to make sure that we get all that stuff in the book as well. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, welcome to the 2024 review episode, where we will kind of look back at the year that Infinite Rabbit Hole had and all the cool, strange shit that happened. Before that, let's go ahead and meet up with the host, Jeffrey. I did you twice in a row first, so I'm going to do it 3 times in a row now.
It's messed
Jeffrey,
up.
how you doing? Hey, you're the one that complained about it.
Yeah, you're right.
What's up?
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How's life?
Same shit. Good.
Oh.
Life's good. I'm not living in Syria. I'm not getting bombed. Fucking wherever people are getting bombed right now. You know, ate good today.
I was just going to say,
Cat-
man, that's
It's my
pretty
cat's
boring intro.
birthday.
It's your cat's
got him
birthday,
pa-
huh?
Yeah, we got him paper bags for his fucking birthday. Best
That's
cat
awesome.
present ever.
Hell yeah, man. What's your cat's
Yeah.
name?
Billy.
Billy. Everybody in the chat say happy birthday to Billy.
Happy birthday to Billy, dude.
Hell yeah. Happy birthday, Billy. You deserve this one.
Billy's the shit. Where is Billy?
I guess.
He's fucking something up somewhere. God damn it.
Sleep right there.
Jake, man, how's it going, dude?
I don't know. I'm in a weird mood.
Weird mood.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Kind of depressed.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it on the
Huh.
show, but I definitely going to be doing some life changes
Yeah.
for both mental and physical health, because I'm just getting I don't know.
Well, the physical
You gonna
health
start doing
thing.
hard drugs or something?
Hmm?
You gonna start doing hard drugs?
No, I'm going to quit drinking. Gonna
okay.
go
So
back to
positive
working
change.
out. Yeah, go back to working out.
Well, that's all positive shit, man. That's good.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good.
but that's what I know I need to get out of this funk, you know.
Yeah.
Like just what Jeff was saying, you know, we're not being bombed right now. We ate good today, you know, that sort of stuff. Went fishing with Whitney, spent some more time with her. You know, I need to be a better husband, be closer to my wife type stuff. So,
Hell
you
yeah,
know,
man.
just taking positive steps forward, get
Billy.
a more active role in church type stuff, you know, just do stuff for my mental and physical well-being. So
Well, good, man. It's
Yeah.
it's important that you identify that stuff. That's step one, man. I went through some pretty ugly shit myself, you know, right?
Yeah.
I've been through the ups and downs, so I've been there. You know, I'm always here for you if you need it. We'll talk afterwards, bud.
Yeah.
But
yeah, other than that, fishing with Jace was fun today. It took Jeremy's son with Whitney. We both took him out fishing. We didn't catch anything, and it was a little bit too cold, so we rolled back after about an hour. But then she and I went to Durand and found a spot. We went to go check out a rod and gun club because I was like, whatever these all about, right? I want to go see
Mhm.
what that is. And they were closed, but ended up stopping somewhere on the Chippewa River and ended up catching a okay sized northern pike, maybe like a foot long. It was the laziest fish ever, too. The thing barely fought. It went like left, right, left. And then it was like, fine, just kill me, I guess. And just let me pull it right up.
Well, they're all frozen, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was pretty cool. So got to do that. We stopped at a restaurant out there, and it was probably the most mediocre food for something that has a 4.7 star rating that I've ever had. And I'm
Yeah.
like she got some pasta thing, like chicken Alfredo, and she's like, this chicken has been frozen for like years. I can tell, you know, it was so dry. The ribeye that I had was super thin, you know, really not great. And I'm just like, she's like, this is the hungriest I've ever been leaving a restaurant.
Well, shit, man.
Yeah.
We got my birthday dinner coming up here soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Austin, Jeremy's brother, and his girlfriend over, Juliana, for some venison for dinner. I think this coming weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Well, I guess screw me then.
Well,
That's
is it your birthday this weekend?
Uh,
I should probably know this, but I don't even know my
Yeah.
dad's birthday. So
no,
don't-
it's
don't
not my birthday this
take it too
weekend, so
hard.
don't worry about it. I'll
Okay,
just work
good.
on this show and do cool shit with the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should do that.
Maybe I'll just go live and we'll just
Maybe
talk
you'll-
about how you guys are eating and we're looking at cool UFO shit.
Yeah, maybe you should
Yeah.
cry about it.
Probably will.
You
It's
should
alright.
go beat yourself up in your home gym and then cry.
Dude, I love my gym.
Yeah, my next big purchase is going to be that that weight set that you got, that Smith machine.
Yeah,
You just got to figure out where to put it. We were going to put it in the second bedroom we have down here in the basement, but it's so big. I didn't realize that, and that room is really small, so we might have to like throw it in here. I don't know. I might move my studio to one of the other rooms. We'll see. I don't want to, but you know, I didn't expect that thing to be such a huge like space taker, you know?
All right, cool. Sorry. Quick update from the wife. I just had to take care of that real quick. Yeah, man. I love my my Smith machine. I bought it off Amazon. Got it on a deal. Thing's pretty badass. Also got this shirt. Look at this shirt, guys. Look at it. Look at it. It's a big feats with a gun.
With a
He's at-
pew.
Yeah, he's out there doing all kinds of
Dude, I also have a big feats with a gun.
Ooh, show me. You got the Tactisquatch. That's what you get.
Yeah, bro.
I got some
Oh,
Tactisquatch back here.
snap. Oh, so now they're
That fell.
You just destroyed the whole studio.
Bam. Look at that.
Nice, bro.
Tactisquatch.
Oh, here, hold on a second. I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah, man.
Now he's got to go get his.
Yeah, he does. We all got to show our Tactisquatch. We got to represent.
So,
Go ahead.
are we gonna like recap the whole year tonight?
Yeah, we'll make it a quick one. I'm not, probably.
That's what she said.
That's right. Oh, look, he does have Tactisquatch. Look at it.
So
Look at it.
Grayson actually sent it to me, and I didn't have anywhere to make it because I don't have a regular coffee pot anymore. I have a Keurig, so I ended up taking it to work so we could have it there. And I just bought a bunch of Keurig things over at Walmart, but it came with this really cool PVC patch.
Cool.
No
You know they
shit.
have
Check that thing out.
refillable Keurig things,
Oh, yeah,
right?
man.
You know, I tried that, and the coffee on the inside of it expanded to a point where it exploded inside my Keurig, and coffee grounds went absolutely everywhere. So
How much
I'm
did
still
you put
getting
in? You
coffee
just put like
grounds and everything.
You put a tablespoon. you
That's
put,
sweet,
like a
dude.
tablespoon
Yeah.
in there, bro.
Ooh, I got a new patch too.
Look, man, I don't understand this sort
This
of
guy
stuff.
packed
Okay?
the fucking thing tight.
You're coming at me. Think of me like some 80-year-old that didn't grow up with the internet, and you're trying to teach me how to use my cell phone. All right, just leave me
I am.
be. I don't care
I
about
do
this
think-
technology.
I do think of you that way, which is why I'm telling you. You get the thing that refills, and you just put one
No.
tablespoon
Nope.
of coffee in there.
No,
and you're good.
I don't want to hear
That's
it. Just let me watch my Clint Eastwood
All
shows.
right, let all your
and
fucking coworkers
Tape
drink
up
your
all the other
expensive
buttons that's not
Tactisquatch.
the pause button or the on button,
This fucking guy.
and leave me alone to be in my recliner so I can just die in peace.
Yeah. And he's
Don't
gonna
care
wear a
about your
robe.
beat boobs.
He's not gonna wear anything underneath it.
That's
You
right.
can't tell him otherwise because he doesn't care.
I don't care.
I tried.
I'm gonna let it hang out.
You're gonna break into his house one day and he's gonna sit there and he's gonna be like, "What?" And you'll be like, "What are you doing?" And he's gonna slowly open his legs, and you're gonna
Yeah.
wish you didn't do that.
Reveal the boys, and then shoot you with a revolver from 100 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
I see it
crap.
now. Yeah, this is my new patch. Check this thing out. Yeah,
Was that
dude.
Tempus Edicts Rectum.
Rerum, but good try. It stands for Time That Devours All Things. It is the 177th. I can't remember the name of it, but it's from the
was
John
almost
Teeter
awesome.
legend. Huh?
If you would have had it, if you would have nailed that would have been awesome. But
The 177th Temporal Recon Unit is a unit from the year 2036, part of the U.S. Army that specializes in world line traveling instead of time traveling. And
hell yeah.
that's what John Teeter does. And that is going to be our January subscription service episode. So, yeah, that's right. Let's see. Looks like Kid admitted to not sending Jeremy and Jake their gifts. Only Jeff.
Shame.
I guess we see where we sit there, Jake.
What? Sorry, I was
said-
reading the comments.
I said, I guess we know where we sit with Kid.
What'd you say?
She said that she did not send us our gifts, but yet Jeff got his.
Hmm.
Yep.
What she said, Canada Post is finally pulling their heads out of their butts.
But
But she
yet
said
Jeff
the A word.
still got his.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get that Smith machine, and my goal is to gain 30 pounds of muscle. That's the
Yeah.
goal. I want to be shredded. I've already gained like 25, 30 pounds since I got out of the military.
little-
All happy
It's
weight.
got little detachable legs on it, dude.
Is that like a little UFO?
It's
I'm gonna
little
make you a
3D printed
UFO that you're gonna
and then the-
put together in glue, and it's gonna be like 5 feet long.
That's awesome, dude. That's fucking great. All right,
That's cute.
let's start reviewing. You guys
All
ready?
right.
All right, let's talk about quarter one real quick. So, quarter one, the very first episode of 2024 was Slender Man. And then we jumped into an IRH news episode on the aliens in the mall fiasco down in Miami. Screen Memories.
I still want to know what that is.
What? The aliens
That
in the
just
mall?
went away. Yeah, it just went away.
Yeah, we'll talk about it here in a second, man.
Okay.
CJ, when he was still with us, he's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. Covered Bachelor's Grove Cemetery from Illinois. Then we had Jeffrey with his 2024 debut and only episode on the Younger Dryas Impact, and then followed up with.
I won by not putting out a single episode.
No, you did.
Oh, I did? Dang it.
Yeah. In quarter two.
Crap.
Then we had Stardust Ranch, the Injured Cold remaster, Shag Harbor, and wrapped up quarter one with a quarter one 2024 wrap up episode, which we obviously don't need to talk about because whatever. But from quarter one, what do you guys fondly remember about quarter one?
Nothing.
Like I said, I want to know what happened with the damn aliens, man. In the
What
mall.
happened with
Was
the damn
that,
aliens, man, is that we still haven't gotten the Stranger Things trailer.
well, it's been a while.
Well, that's what happened.
You'd think we would have at least got the trailer by now, if that's what it was. So now I'm starting to question
So-
if that's the.
I can't remember the guy's name, but there was this whole fiasco that went down throughout the summer of this year and then into the fall where there was this guy who supposedly had video footage of these alien beings coming through some dimensional doorway or portal or whatever. And he was going to go onto some public something, some podcast, probably Joe Rogan or whatnot, something along those lines, and just release it out there and let it just go. But apparently there was this huge manhunt for him by Congress. They put out like some official wanted post or something for him, and he ended up getting posted to a bunch of wanted lists, both federally and locally. And he ended up just going missing. Obviously, he probably got Clintoned, but
Yeah.
I
agree with
remember.
Kinzer. He needed to just go on Rogan, private message him, and say, I have the stuff, instead of announcing that he was going to.
Yeah,
probably did, and then they probably messed it. Then the deep state probably hit him up and was like, "Hey, man, if you do that, you're not going to get Trump on the show." And then he was probably like, "Oh, okay."
yeah. Shit, Crystal, did you find a link? Does she have any information on this?
She wasn't looking for it, but
Oh.
she can.
Oh, I don't know. She said, "Holy shit, he did mysteriously disappear." I didn't know if she found something.
You
But-
just said that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Crystal needs a mic.
She does need a mic.
Yeah.
Send help.
I got an extra mic. You want me to send it over? It's a.
Send
I got that blue Yeti still.
I was gonna say I have the blue Yeti. It's right there.
send Mike. Send help. Send Mike.
I can send it down to you guys. Wait, you don't have
You
an
know, I
extra?
need
You
a-
have an extra mic. You have
I
an
need to
extra mic.
replace this cable. You guys have the same one. Is your cable janky too?
But you just suck, dude.
My cats ate it. My
That's
cats
true.
chewed it up.
That's
There's bite marks.
more than likely probably what happened. No, the plug-in on the back of the mic is actually super sensitive though. So if I touch the cable, it'll fall out and then it will stop my recording.
Skeeter in the chat.
Send it with his UFO day stuff. Then he'll never get it.
Yeah, no.
So, the best bet is to send it alone. You want this? Huh?
Yeah, send it over. She could use it.
You want it? What am I going to do if I have a broken mic and I can't speak to anybody? I'll just use my third.
You'll
backup
just
mic.
use your webcam like you always do.
Don't you have lapel mics?
I do have lapel mics. Yes.
Send lapels.
I just need a different type of cable. I need the one that I think I don't want to touch my mic because I don't want to turn it off. Yeah, it's got like the regular microphone thing. I just don't know if there would be an adapter to a USB from that cord setup.
I think that's a question for our tech guy.
You mean an XLR? So it's got the XLR. I don't know because you need to fucking power it somehow. So you need some sort of audio interface between the microphone and your computer in order to use.
I'm just
the
not smart
XLR.
enough. I'm going back to my westerns.
If you wanted to use the XLR, the
60
other
minutes.
input on this mic, you would have to buy like another $200 fucking device that's self-powered. Plug it
Hey,
into the
hey,
wall.
Well, I throw
Jeffrey.
my money away in the trash on stuff that's going to
Just
get
trying to
banned.
break
so,
it
I mean,
down for you guys, man.
Jeffrey,
to
we
help.
have a tech guy for this, man.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Skeeter's he's not here in verbal. He could put this in the chat as well and confirm exactly what I'm saying.
Skeeter says $75.
Skeeter,
75 bucks. I mean, there you go.
put in the
you know.
chat that he's wrong.
Listen, I'm a musician, so of course I'm gonna go get the $200 one because I'm an asshole, right? I'm not gonna get the $75 one. I want the $200 one because why? I don't know. It makes my guitar tone sound better.
It makes my guitar look $200 more expensive.
So there it is.
Yeah. Flash that wad. That's right.
Jeff, if I built you a guitar, would you play it?
If
I'd
it
play
didn't
it.
suck,
I'd play it.
building a guitar is no easy feat. You could build something that
An
looks
electric
like
guitar.
a guitar. Any guitar.
Electric guitar.
Go ahead. I mean, build it. Send it
Okay.
with my UFO Day shit.
Nah, here we go.
And
Oh no, that's gonna take.
Show it on stream. Guitar guys are always super picky
Yeah.
and whiny. Yep.
see, there
That's
it is.
Jeffrey. There he is.
Oh my
okay.
gosh,
I have
I
no problem with
I
that.
watched this freaking reel on Facebook.
the
I gotta send it to the chat. It was a guy talking about his beach ball collection. It said what guitar guys sound like to people who don't care about guitar guys, and he was like, "This one's really nice. You see, because the seams are really flat." Yeah, I got about 500 here in this shed. I need to get it appraised. Like it was so funny, and I was just like, "That's Jeff."
That's great.
I'm totally sending this.
All right, so it's safe to say nobody gives a shit about quarter one, huh?
Well, the Younger Dryas one, that one was really interesting.
It was.
I don't believe any
And
of it, but it was interesting.
My
Regardless.
one of my absolute favorite topics of all times was the Screen Memories episode. I absolutely love that episode. Love. Huh, that's hilarious. Anyways. Yeah, Screen Memories. I just picked up some more reading material on the subject. I'm excited to jump back into it. Maybe if I find some additional information for you guys, I'll find a way to share it with you. I don't think I can create a whole episode again for Patreon use, but maybe I can just update it on one of these typical episodes. That'd be pretty cool. Quarter 2, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, quarter 2. We started off with Peppy, the monster of Lake Pepin. We jumped into the Dancing Plague of 1518, followed by the Falk Monster 1 and 2, and then Jake's only episode this year, Sheep Squatch. And then we did an interview
That episode
with.
sucked.
No, it was good.
No, it was garbage.
Then we did an interview with the great Tim Banal. Covered near-death experiences in 2 parts. Did an interview with our good friend Jason Hewlett, and then wrapped it up with a wrap-up episode. So, quarter 2. You guys have any fond memories of quarter 2? Damn, this episode sucked.
I didn't like Sheep Squatch. There wasn't enough information. And it was complete BS.
So, there was a little bit of information that was missed on it. I remember listening to it. You did a good job. It was a good episode, man. I actually recently re-listened to it probably 2 months ago.
You're like, I'm gonna scrap this episode.
No, no, man. I was listening to it. I was like, yeah, man. You know, I was like, I need to try to convince Jake to do more episodes. But
No, I know. That's one of the things that I mean, it's not conducive to like going outside and not being strapped to a screen, but yeah, I definitely need to start contributing more on this. I want to be an active role in this, you know. But
well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to be an active role in it, man. There's a lot of ways. You don't always have to create a script. That's what I do because I love doing it.
I
weird
hate
like that.
writing.
Yeah,
My
well,
hands hurt, dude.
then
Like
don't
I
do
need
it.
to get my hooks for hands because these things suck. All right. They're killing me.
Yeah, you've been talking about these hooks for hands for a while now.
I'm still waiting for to get seen for my carpal tunnel to see about getting it like my tendons cut. Apparently that's the trick. But yeah, it's like my hands just kill me at work. Actually, should be wearing them. I've got 2 wrist braces. But yeah.
Let's see.
I like the near-death stuff.
Did you?
Yeah.
I
I like that topic
easily.
in general. That topic in general is interesting,
So the big 2 questions that I have, like the ones that keep me up at night, are we alone in the universe, and what happens to our consciousness after death? Those are the 2 that I'll spend hours upon hours upon hours, entire road trips just stuck in my mind thinking about. So whenever I do an episode on, one of these psyche topics, I always get really, really into it. And I remember doing the write-up for the NDEs and cutting it down so that we could do it in 2 episodes. And it was originally almost 3. So I was like, instead of making a full 3rd episode, I'll just drop it down to 2. But I've recently come across some more content to where I could probably build up another 2 episodes off of it. There's a lot of shit out there. And I want to reach out to a few NDE experiencers and get them on the show. That's what I really want to do. I think those would be great conversations to have.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to that author that did like 2,500 NDE. Well, he researched like 2,500 NDE stories, traveled all over the world, getting people's stories and stuff like that. I think he was on the
Sean
maybe
Ryan
Sean
show.
Ryan show. Yeah, but I want to get him on.
Yeah, man, it's a phenomenal topic, and it's I don't know. Like I said, I'm always really, really into the whole psyche stuff, and and the consciousness aspect to our lives. And if Infinite Rabbit Hole has done anything for me, is proved to myself that, I'm not just the guy who really loves cryptids, right? The monsters and stuff. And, I still have that aspect to me, but I don't know. It's surpassed my love for cryptids, looking into topics of the consciousness, that and quantum physics has just absolutely blown my mind lately too, which we could talk about here at the end. But I absolutely love topics that have to do with consciousness.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
I get lost completely. Yeah, Jeffrey, say things.
Things.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think about stuff like that. That's not what keeps me up at night. I don't honestly don't even think about it. The only time I think about like the inevitability of death is when I'm driving to work an hour and driving home an hour every single day, and I'm like, gosh, I hope a drunk driver doesn't cross over the lane and kill me, or something like that. But usually I'm like, I think about things like, if the giant van-sized slugs will come back and try to take over the neighborhood again,
Yeah, the
But
stuff that matters.
Think about it as often as probably anybody else thinks about it, but I'm more interested in just I don't know. I'm not so afraid of it. I guess there's more of an acceptance, so it's more interesting for like other reasons, I guess.
I'm terrified
Yeah.
of death. Absolutely terrified of it. I have lost
Well,
days of sleep thinking about
there
it.
there's theories that go along with like quantum and
Mm.
multiverse stuff where I've talked about this before. Imagine every moment, every possible moment your consciousness experiences death and shifts into another parallel universe
Mhm.
where it's not experiencing death.
Yeah.
And it's infinite, right? So you're just riding this wave of consciousness of being, right? So your consciousness will never actually experience the thing that you fear of as death, because every time it does, it shifts into a parallel universe where it's still conscious.
There is a title for that theory. It's called quantum immortality.
Jeff,
There
And
you
that
go.
made so much sense.
huh?
No, it didn't. It didn't. That was dumb.
So think about like let's just break it down.
It does though.
Not-
It does. And
Instead of every moment in infinity, because that makes it kind of weird and hard to think about. Just think about like right now, you're drinking that, and boom, you just die because you're drinking that. You drowned on it
hush.
for whatever reason. Okay, but the moment that you die, the moment that you die, your consciousness just shifts into a parallel reality where that didn't happen. So like we're still having this conversation and everything's normal. But in the other reality, me and Jeremy are like, oh shit, no, and like, but everything according to your consciousness, we are still here in this reality where that did not happen, right? So like, you just carry on.
so there's something called it, the quantum immortality hypothesis, because this is also something that I've been trying to stress out in my research too, is the difference between a theory and a hypothesis. And somebody had pointed it out to me, back when I did the aquatic ape theory. Some smart ass was like, well, it's not really the aquatic ape theory as it is the aquatic ape hypothesis. And it's like, yeah, man, I mean, you're right, but who's really nitpicking at that? But to clear that up, uh, a theory is something that has evidence behind it, but has yet been proven to be true. And a hypothesis is somebody who comes up with an idea that they think is potentially true. So, the aquatic ape hypothesis is what it should be called. Same thing with the stoned ape hypothesis. It should not be called a theory, because there isn't any evidence that strongly points to it. This is something where, in the case of the stone ape theory, where somebody comes up with an idea that makes a ton of sense, and if you look deep enough, you look hard enough, you move some pieces around, you can find evidence of what you're trying to explain. But there's no documented proof of any of the parts of your hypothesis. Whereas in
That would be
grav-
impossible to prove because we don't have any fossilized brains.
well, yeah, true. But like gravity, the reason why gravity is considered a theory, or the theory of gravity, or gravitational theory, as some might say, is because we have a lot of strong evidence that it exists. Right? I can take my remote to my TV in here, pick it up, and drop it, and it's going to go down. Right? There's some sort of force that's pulling it down. Right? Is it gravity by definition? We can't say that for sure, but there's a lot of evidence that points to it existing. So, by scientific definition, it's a theory. It's not a hypothesis, right? It will eventually one day be proven to be true with the correct evidence or the amount of research that needs to be done.
What'd you call it again? Quantum immortality.
Quantum immortality.
It sounds cool. I'm gonna use that as a song name at least, man. And you know what, man? If you don't have, if for anybody listening, right? If you don't have a god or a spirituality that you find comfort in death, and that might give you comfort in some way, some quantum immortality. So there you go.
Who wants to
Maybe
hear an
that'll help
episode on
somebody
quantum
sleep better at night.
immortality?
I would.
Yeah.
You know, what you just said about gravity isn't necessarily true. If you're in Australia right now and you let go of your remote, it hits the ceiling. That's why they have to glue everything down or use suction cups.
That's why it is a theory and
Yeah.
not a fact. Yeah.
I don't understand.
They use a lot of Velcro.
He's joking.
I
Oh,
am joking.
there is some books on theories of quantum immortality. Cool. Yeah, maybe we could definitely dive into this at some point. That'd be something I would absolutely love to do. But as of recently, whenever I'm doing research on a topic, I always get sidetracked. 100% of the time, I get sidetracked into other theories or other topics that I eventually want to do research on. And I have a running list. Actually, I should probably bring it up for you guys and show you. It's pretty impressive. But I have a running list of topics that, I come across while doing research. And every once in a while, I'll go back to the list and find something and be like, shit, what the hell was that? So I'll Google it and be like, oh, yeah, okay. And I'm pretty sure quantum immortality is in there. But in a lot of the topics that I cover, I end up diving into something called the multiple world theory. Have you heard about this?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's literally what it sounds like, right? And we discussed it slightly in the simulation theory episodes. What's up?
What, the Finding a New Home one?
No, multiple world interpretation. It literally is the physics term for the multiverse, right? It's the fancy word for the multiverse. Here, I'll bring it up. And this alone goes hand in hand with the quantum immortality, right? So the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics is a theory that suggests that there are many parallel universes that exist simultaneously within our own. Here's some cool. Look, this is probably the most scientific picture I've ever seen right here. Look at this fucking thing. Jeez, give that guy an A. But yeah, so this is some pretty interesting stuff. And recently I've been diving into quantum topics of entanglement and superposition, and how the multi-world interpretation lives in a state of superposition until one of those events that Jeff was talking about happens, and the the universe that you live in splits into two, right? And that's where you get the concept of the multiple world theory. Superposition.
But
What's up?
that's just thinking of one instance, right? Like one instance happening to one observer splits off into two. But if you think about
Mhm.
every instance in the universe happening to every observer at the same time, like your web of twos becomes infinite, right? So it's like everything is happening all at once. It doesn't make sense. Like it becomes like this. That's
Yeah.
like the math problem that they have is like it becomes like a clusterfuck of everything happening at once, like a singularity, I guess. But
So the best example of superposition is the example of Schrodinger's cat, which is what you see right here on the screen, right? Where Schrodinger said that every possible path in the world, especially at the quantum level. Now, to clarify what the quantum level is, there's 3 levels of existence that we know of, right? There's the macro, the micro, and the quantum. Quantum is your particles of existence at the absolute smallest level possible, right? So these are your quarks, the things that make up atoms, right? This is the quantum level, and the smaller you get, the stranger that fit the laws of physics acts upon those tiny it's hard to quantum, right? Quantum particles or quantum objects. And Schrodinger's cat is an example, or Schrodinger's attempt to try to paint a picture of what's happening on the quantum level, and how quantum particles live in a constant state of superposition. So where Schrodinger's cat was put into a box with a vial of poison, and Schrodinger closed up the box, left the room, and came back in an hour. Up until Schrodinger opened his box and looked at his cat, that cat existed both in a superposition of dead and alive at the same time. So without any other inputs, the cat's not moving around, it's not making noise, it's sitting still inside of its box. That cat is both dead and alive until it is observed in the position where superposition, the quantum aspect of superposition, fully takes on one option. So this also gets applied to the hot topic right now, quantum computers, right? So you guys have heard of Willow, right?
Yeah.
What?
Willow,
Willow.
the quantum computer chip that Google just created.
Nope.
So Willow did something really freaking cool, right? Willow was able to solve a problem. Here, let's just bring this up because I'm gonna misquote.
I'll tell you. So Willow, this new quantum chip that Google just made, basically solved a problem that all of the world's supercomputers, conventional supercomputers, would have taken I think the number is like 24 quintillion years to solve. This chip solved in like 10 minutes.
10 septillion.
10 septillion.
It's not 42.
The
I
answer
got
was
that
42.
reference. Yeah, the
Yeah.
meaning of life.
Yep.
Willow performed. There you go. The first Willow
Right here.
performed a standard benchmark computation in under 5 minutes that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years.
Yep. So basically, the gist of Willow, the reason why it's making such big waves through everything right now is because Willow did this computation so fast in comparison to everything else that we have, all the other technologies that we have, the best technologies that we have, that they believe that the only way for this to have happened was for Willow to harness powers of other quantum computing chips from parallel worlds. And this was
from other universes. Yeah.
this was something that was right here. Here
What
we
was
go.
the problem?
It was some benchmark test. I'm not 100%
It's
sure.
just like
But
a computational test. Yeah, it's like some.
thi-
It's not like an
this
actual problem.
This mind-boggling number exceeds known timescales in physics and vastly exceeds the age of the universe. It lends credence to the notion that quantum computation occurs in many parallel universes, in line with the idea that we live in a multiverse, a prediction first made by David Deutsch.
So here's the thing, right? Like a few years ago, the head of CERN, I forget his name, he came out and said that they were using quantum computers to peer into parallel universes,
Mhm.
parallel dimensions, I think is the words he actually used, parallel dimensions, and to bring back data. Like those were his words at
If
CERN.
if this kind of subject blows your mind and you ever want to learn more about it, that guy that's referenced right there in this Google article, David Deutsch, this book right here by David, The Beginning of Infinity, is an absolute mindfuck, and it is a beautiful
See,
piece of work.
this is super interesting to me too. This is probably one of my most one of the things that interests me the most in the world right now is this type of shit because first of all, everybody's freaking out about this Willow chip. Everybody first was like, "Oh my god, like it's gonna crack encryption and like all the world's encryption is gonna go to waste and like there goes fucking Bitcoin and all this other stuff." And it's like, no, that's not the case because Google would never release something that would be able to like instantly crack its own encryption as well, right? Like it would
Well,
just be a bad business move for Google
he-
to release
he-
that.
here's the thing, right? Is a lot of people are freaking out about the Willow chip because they believe that it's going to make all other computing tools obsolete, right? And that's
And
just
yes,
not. No, it's not.
Well,
It's not.
It
It's
will
not.
eventually.
Maybe,
Yeah, like
but
in
even
1,000 years.
yeah, but the desktop computer didn't make the calculator obsolete,
No, of
right?
course
And
not.
neither did your cell phone.
But perhaps in like another 500 years, it will have, right? Like just through the progression of technology, right? So like, yeah, of course, in 1,000 years, quantum computing will be like the only computing that we use as humans, right? But in our lifetimes and any like foreseeable future, a few generations out, like of course we're going to use like conventional computing. It's just going to get faster, and we'll also use quantum computing. But nobody will ever release something like these articles are just like super hyperbolic, right? It's to get you to be freaked out, and everybody is freaked out. And all I'm saying is that Google would never like release, and no other corporation would ever release like a true quantum computing chip to the world or to anybody that would have any potential of cracking encryption, right? Which is something that this would be able to do if it was real, or you know what I'm saying? Like, but no, encryption is important. Our entire world, our entire digital world relies on encryption. So they would never give this to anybody.
So
Anybody.
I don't think that's true. I think the best analogy to think of here is the tool of a quantum computer is used for something completely different than what a typical computer would be used for. It's like saying, I bought a boat, so now I don't need a car. It's, yes, the boat is also used for transportation, but it's used for transportation in a way that a car cannot be used. Right? I think it's closer to that. We're going to be able to do some really, really intense stuff, when it comes to quantum physics and hypothetical theories to try to create new or to discover new laws of physics, or even to confirm some theories, or even possibly uh, bump some hypotheses, as some would say, up to theories, hypothesi, yes. But it's not gonna. I don't think you're ever going to have a quantum computer replace your laptop for podcasting. It's just not going to happen.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
Um,
You might be right. I don't know. I would never argue one way or the other, I guess, on that. But it is pretty crazy what some of this shit is doing. But what freaks me out the most is that literally, like I said a few years ago, they said that they were they were doing this, right? They were peering into parallel universes and bringing back data. That was his words, quote unquote.
Mhm.
So like now they're coming out and saying, "Hey, Google's got this chip that's using other chips and multiverses to come to an answer that would take an infinite number of years for our computer to fucking do.
Do you know how
Right?
it's
And
doing it?
I think what's happening, man, and this is, you may not agree with this, but Jake might agree with this. I think what's happening is that other entities or something in another one of these universes has coaxed us into creating this technology. And when we're bringing back data into this universe or into this timeline, however you want to look at it, like that data, like that's faulty code, man. That's demonic energy. That's not good shit for this universe, man. Like it's, and I think that that's why you're seeing all kinds of fucking crazy shit happen. And that's just my opinion. But
I agree with that. But my question, I guess, would be what specific data or information is being brought back? Because saying that, oh, data, it's like, okay, well, that could mean a lot of different things.
right,
So
think about
what
this.
does that
Like,
mean? Right?
well, think about it in computational terms, right? Like if your computer, okay, your computer runs on like certain software, certain data, right? Certain information, okay? It's reading data in order to operate what we're doing right here on Riverside and Twitch and all this other shit, right? If you
Mhm.
introduce some foreign data, some shit that literally is like in a code from another planet, okay, into your computer right now, what's going to happen? Your computer's going to fucking blue screen, shut off, everything's done, stream's over. Okay, you're
Yep.
probably going to need a new computer. So I think that's what's happening, like on the universe level, right? They're bringing back data, and that data could literally be viruses. It could literally be fucking, demons. It could literally be like The Mist, the movie The Mist, right? Is that what it is?
And they're bringing
Fog or whatever?
monsters.
Okay.
I-
Like, no, I'm not saying like a mist is going to pour over the land and like there's going to be monsters in the mist. No, but it's like a metaphoric version of that, right? Like it could be like some shit that we're not seeing, but that's what these UFOs are, these UAPs, these orbs, these lights, mysterious fucking energies in Skinwalker Ranch or wherever else you want to point at. I think that the entities, the demons, have been coaxing humanity into creating portals for all of humanity. And we're just now getting to the point in the last couple hundred, like in the last 100 years, where they can actually build like hadron colliders and quantum chips so that they can really open these portals for real.
So
Well, from a biblical perspective, the demon's already here,
Sure.
right? Satan is the Lord
Well,
of the
so are-
sky or whatever it is. So they
so
wouldn't
are
have
other
to
dimensions.
pull anything, but they could be contacting beings that have been here since before the beginning of the universe, and I guess getting their information about how the structure of the earth and why things are the way they are, and the boundaries of physics and things like that. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
you could word it however you want, right? Those portals
Yeah.
could be as literal or as whatever. Like they could be communication portals, they could be actual portals to other dimensions or other realms or other universe. I don't really know. I'm not smart enough to tell you what it is, right? It could literally be spiritual portals. I'd lean more into that. Like it's probably on some demonic, negative energy type portals that they're trying to, fuck with. Well, I only say that because I'm a conspiracy theorist, number one. Number two, if you look at the Google Chrome logo, it's like a 666. If you look at CERN, they got the statue of Shiva, the goddess of destruction and rebirth, in the fucking front. CERN's logo is 666,
Mhm.
right?
Sure,
They
yeah.
just they do the fucking Gothard base tunnel ceremony, and it's super demonic, and like there's just so much shit that goes on. That's just,
tons of symbolism and whatnot.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I lean that way.
so
No, that's fair. It's understandable.
So yeah, I don't agree at all. But I'm trying to think of where to start here. Let's go to the chat. The More 76 has been putting some good stuff in here, some good questions. He or let's see which one.
They them. We don't know who the more is.
The
It's a
More.
they them.
Oh, no, I was
So
just
they, them.
I was just trying to figure out where that question was that they were asking. The quantum computer is a computer that counts. So I'm assuming. Oh yeah, right here. Quantum means to count. That's not the definition that I
Not
know.
really.
The definition that I know of quantum is it's basically a measurement of existence. So as I was saying, I think it was right before you jumped in. There's 3 levels of existence. There's the macro world, the micro level, or the micro world, and the quantum world. And as you go down in size, the laws of physics affects the objects in that level far different. So the quantum level lives by different physics laws than we do here at the macro level, and uh, uh, you know, things like quantum entanglement and superposition, and like we were just talking about the what was it, damn it, Jeff, what were we just talking about, the multiple world theory, um the thing, man,
Quantum
you had
immortality.
quantum immortality, right? uh it, the reason why quantum immortality exists is because decisions are being made out of particles in a state of superposition uh on the go. So the reason why I brought up the Willow chip in the first place was because the way that it computes is way different than a computer does now. So a typical computer now uses things called transistors, right? Um, so transistors are basically binary tools that give you a 1 or a 0, yes or no, on or off, right? Um, and they can only exist in a state of one or the other. So right now, uh, when you talk about bits, like back in the day, we had N64. It's got 64 bits. This is in direct relation to how many transistors it has, how much computing power and memory that it could hold and use. So now, right, if we bring up the Google box, because I don't know these answers off the top of my head. Um, let's go new tab, bam, and we go how many transistors in an iPhone, right? And this is here you go. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max has 19 billion transistors in it. And this is
That's
if we
insane, dude.
yeah. So if you go to, let's say, the original, let's go Sega Genesis, right? Not go all the way back. Um, in N, it only had 6,500 transistors. Oh, the Sega, I'm sorry, 250,000 compared to what did we say? What was the amount in the iPhone right now? 65 billion, right? So this is what we're talking about, computing speeds, and this is what it
There's
can do. This is what it can do off of simple inputs of ones and zeros, right? So the way that computers work is, or anything electronics in general works, is that you put in a request or a command, and inside of it, it's computing your command with a absolutely insane amount, 68 billion fucking transistors, constantly, flipping back and forth between ones and zeros, creating its own language uh, to answer your question or to perform the task that you wanted to do. Now, the difference between a typical computer and a quantum computer is that instead of using bits, it's using something called a qubit. Now, a qubit is similar to a transistor, right? But instead of living uh, in a state of either 1 or 0, it can live in a state of 1 or 0 or both at the same time. So let me show you what is a bit in computer, and we'll look at a image of this, right? So here's a bit, okay? Like I said, it's all binary, ones and zeros.
Oh, yes, a bit.
And if
hole
you
in a
go,
hole.
and then you go into what is a qubit in quantum computing. So here, instead of having the only possibility of being right here, 0 and 1, right? Like you would in a typical bit, you have the possibility of it being a 1 and a 0 at the same time, a 0 and a 0 at the same time, a 1 and a 1 at the same time, a 1 and a 0 at the same time, or nothing at all. So it's taking with something that only has two options, 1 and a 0, a single qubit can create, I can't remember what the number was, but I want to say it was something along the lines of like 30 different combinations. And every time you multiply a qubit, like let's say we went to that 65 billion qubits, just like an iPhone would have, and we change it from a bit to a qubit, now we're taking the computations that 65 billion can do, and we're timesing that by 25 compounded on top of each other every time a qubit is added. So that's why it's able to do something in 15 minutes that would take the fastest supercomputer that we know of now that we have, longer than the existence, or in a time period that's older than the existence or the age of the universe that we live in. So that's why,
By a long shot.
by a long shot. So let's see, how many.
See, to me, that there's no way that human beings. Now, I give human beings a lot of credit. But there's no way human beings are figuring this shit out without like help from some other forces, in my opinion. There's no way. There's no way that you can even comprehend those numbers to put 64 billion transistors inside of a chip that's inside your pocket. That like there's no way that human beings just figured this shit out in the last 100 years without some weird fucking interaction with something higher than us or lower than us.
So this is also a interesting term here, measurement collapse, right? So a single qubit can have two possible outcomes when measured, typically represented as a 0 and 1, similar to a classic bit, but with the unique ability to be in superposition. That means that it could be both at the same time, of both states simultaneously until measured, right? So this is the Schrodinger's cat, what we're talking about in Schrodinger's cat when it comes to superposition. So when the qubit lives in a state of both 0 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 0, 0 and 0, and nothing at all, until it is called upon to create one of those options, and then it lives in a state of the option that it is given. The problem with quantum computing right now is that, unlike the computers that we have now, where ones and zeros are pretty solid and they basically can't be wrong for the most part, quantum computers can be wrong. That is something that, there's kinks that we have to work out with this.
Yeah, they're using AI right now to like adjust for errors.
Yeah. So there's things that we just, we can't do with it because it is imperfect. It's not going to be reliable. But superposition, unlike a classical bit, a qubit can exist in combination of both 0 and 1 states at the same time with certain probabilities for each state. And then you have the measurement collapse. When a qubit is measured, its state collapses into either 0 or 1. And that's what this is referring to right here, the measured. This is the Schrodinger's cat term, the measurement collapse, where when it's not observed, it lives in a state of superposition. And then upon observation, it creates a measurement collapse into one of those positions.
See, this is where I've heard the argument where they I couldn't tell you who, to be honest with you, but watching these videos, these guys like debate these theories and stuff like that, or hypothesis, or however you want to put this. That's where they talk about the difference is they don't know for sure. And there is the question of, is it that the possibilities are collapsing in on the determined outcome, or is it that the consciousness is producing the determined outcome and it just appears to us as if the possibilities are collapsing on the one,
Mhm.
because it could be a perception problem, right? That's what I hear these guys talking about too. Is like it may be one or the other, but it's a perception issue. It could be a perception issue, and our consciousness may be actually creating that collapsing wave function,
Hmm.
not observing it.
So, the More 76 said, "Why are we believing this? There are not 19 billion of anything on your phone. They are using what is found in the delayed choice quantum eraser and the nature of light. This happens everywhere with light. Uh, Light is a completely different thing. Light, as proven by the double slit experiment, which is another uh, physics experiment or exercise, if you will, that was done a while ago. I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say his last name is
That's a
Jones.
good point, though. Why are we believing this? I'm with that.
I mean, I understand the argument, but have you seen videos lately of how small a transistor is?
Yeah, I've also seen videos of fucking that governor eating 40,000 cheeseburgers and a billion French fries being
Hey, that's
dropped on him
real,
by
bro.
drones.
That's real. That's really
Right.
happened.
So
Imagine that dump.
I've also
Huge.
seen videos of planes hitting buildings and and they come down.
Look at you wearing your hat. I love it. Anyways, according to the Google AI, which we know is very trustworthy, right? And I'm
Yep.
sorry that this is the source that I'm using, but this is the one that I have at my fingertips right now.
Don't you hate that? It's not even good, dude.
No, it's really not. There's all sorts of mistakes.
Oh, we got a quantum chip that can fucking solve any problem in infinity, but our AI blows.
Anyways, but according to the almighty Google AI overview, the smallest transistor on record is 3 nanometers, which is roughly the size of a few silicon atoms. Silicon.
I like how they give us a reference to something else that we have no idea what
that
the
we
fucking
don't know.
size is.
That we don't know how
That
big it
doesn't
is.
make
Right?
any sense though,
Roughly the size
because
of a few silicone atoms.
it
Yeah, how
was-
fucking
if
big
it's-
is that, Frank?
if it's that small, then it would have to be just atoms in itself. You can't make something that's bigger than the atoms it's made up of.
Well, atoms are different sizes
that
depending.
was a stupid way to say that. You can't get down to the atomic level and make something using atoms that are going to be bigger than the item that you're making. Does that make sense?
Well,
So it's like if you're at the
yeah.
atomic level already, it's like it's so small that it's the size of 3 silicon atoms or whatever it is. Then what are you actually? Are you just taking 3 silicon atoms and gluing them together and being like, oh, there it is?
Quantum.
So how far on the periodic table is silicon? Because that will tell you how big it is.
There's atoms of different sizes. Is that what you're saying?
Depends on what the element is. And it depends on
Really?
how many electrons
Well,
and
see, this is
protons
another.
and
I'm
neutrons
gonna go
and
back
all
to the
that
Moore's
shit.
point. I'm gonna go back to the Moore's point on this before we go down this rabbit hole on how big fucking atoms are. Like, why are we believing any of this shit, right? Like, I'm with that, man, because I do get caught up in this sometimes, where I go fucking way deep down the rabbit hole on these theories about quantum this and and it's just like, wait a minute, man, all this information that I'm regurgitating and like memorizing and theorizing about is all information that was handed down to me by some fucking robes, man, some cloaks, some
It's like-
lab coats.
It's like
It's like-
freaking. Yeah, it's like if you wanted to learn Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, and read original transcripts or the last, the first copies of the Bible, you could absolutely do that. You don't have to listen to what someone says. This is the translation. You could do it yourself.
Sure.
None of us can carbon date anything,
Right.
but we allow people that say something is X number of years old to tell us that that's the truth, and then
You send it
we
to a
just
fucking
gobble that
lab.
stuff up. Right, we garble that stuff or eat that stuff up, just like that church in Kansas or whatever that left some chicken bones out from some fried chicken out in the sun for a couple weeks, and then they sent it into a lab and they said it was like millions of years old, and they're like, okay, because it was just some lab saying that this is the age of this thing, or in this circumstance, right? We can't. I can't. I'm not gonna say we, but I can't make a phone in the same way that
Right.
they are made today. I could probably make an older model phone, with basic electronic skills and stuff like that. But I can't make a microchip. I don't have the tools at my disposal to make a microchip. So we have to rely on the people who do to say, well, this is how much computing power your phone has or whatever it is. And it's just like, now, I don't know if there is a reason for them to be deceptive about it, but you can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're telling the truth, because you just have no way of knowing. I don't have I could pull out the chip from my phone. I've replaced the battery. I've disassembled an iPhone before, but I don't have a electron microscope that is powerful enough to see the individual,
I think when you
whatever
see the
transistors of it, right? And count them all.
yeah,
You
I
know?
think when you see the like corruption and the bullshit that I think all of us have seen in the last, I don't know, just say 10 years, right? With politics and with the medical industry and like just all the corruption and the lying and the crazy shit that nobody ever thought was possible, that your governments and that your institutions and your academic peoples would do to you, right? Like, but they did it. So I think and they've been doing it the whole time, right? You can look at history,
Sure.
right? Crystal's reading this book about Charles Manson, and it goes through COINTELPRO and all this crazy shit that the CIA was doing. And it's like, so I think that the reason that they would have to keep a lot of this stuff like in this tight, weird control, like information war, is number one, it's just generation after generation of corruption and just greed, right? Like some of these people can't have 40 years of their whatever go to shit because some new discovery happened. So they just bury something under the rug and they keep this whatever it is, take your pick, fucking archaeology. The pyramids are still 2500 years BC, and it's like, no they're not. No, they're fucking not. We all know that the pyramids are not 100 BC. They're way older than that. So stop telling us that they aren't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rambling now, but you guys
No,
understand.
sure.
the
I
point that
hear
I'm
what you're
making.
saying.
Yeah, timeline stuff kind of fucks with me. I don't.
But it's the same
the-
with the atoms and the fucking quarks and the fucking black holes and the space images that are all paint by numbers. It's all information that you have to send to a lab and have some other schmuck tell you, yes, it is, no, it isn't, whatever the fuck. Right? Like Jake is saying, this is not some shit like a virus, right? Like I can't fucking verify a virus. I can look deep in a microscope and see like bacterial infections and that kind of thing, but I can't see a fucking virus, dude. Right? So
it's a scary world that we live in, man, when you can't trust the quote unquote experts to
Right.
Well,
give you the
yeah.
information that is supposed to be able to save your life, or give you critical information about history or current events.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from, right? The only thing is that bothers me is that if you don't accept any of the information that's given to you, then where are you?
Well, you wouldn't even leave your house.
Right.
You couldn't even
Well,
be
it's
sure
not-
that you're
it's a
breathing
matter-
oxygen, right?
accepting
know?
information is one thing. I can accept information all day long. This is why I just went on this tirade, because I had to stop myself from going down this deep rabbit hole about fucking the size of atoms and shit and just throw it out there that like this is all just hearsay, right? So, but I can accept the information that's given to me and ponder about it often, and I do. But I
don't
always
know.
have to try to bring myself back to question everything. That includes like, is gravity fucking real, man?
I
Right.
don't.
So
When it comes to atoms, I don't know. Like you heard it before, right? Where they're like atoms are mostly empty space. So you're not actually touching your desk. Well, why can I feel it then? Why does it hurt if I bash my knee against the door frame? You know, if I'm not
Why-
touching it and I'm never touching anything.
Why does it hurt when I get hit by a train?
Yeah. Why? You know,
No, I know. I
why
get it
don't
too.
bullets just pass right through people when they, get actually affected by it? Right.
I don't know the
Nothing's ever
science
actually
behind
touching
that.
them.
To be
You're
honest
too
with you.
low vibrational, bro. You need a higher vibrations, bro, and you can walk through the walls, man. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's like that. What was it, Flash movie where
The
he just starts
Flash, yeah.
vibrating really hard and he just walks through a wall. He's like, he just walks
think
through. I was like,
there's
that's dope.
I think there's some truth to some of that stuff, right? I think that, with oscillations, I mean, Tesla used to have, I don't know the exact quote, but there's a quote from Tesla that said something about he could take down any building with an oscillator or something like this, right? Like if you just
Yep.
give the right vibration and the right frequency, like you can literally turn a building into dust, right?
Well,
I
that's
don't
like
have
the walls in
Um,
Jericho with in the Bible where they're blowing the trumpets and stuff like that, and then the walls collapsed. Right? It's just like
Right.
we can look at that now from a scientific perspective and be like, if this is a true account of a real thing that happened, well, then it would make sense in the same way you can sing out a wine glass in a specific tone and it shatters. Mythbusters proved that one. It's
Right.
possible.
So
You
I
get on
think
the right
that there's something
frequency and it just,
to there's something to like vibrations and like manipulating matter, and being able to like quote unquote walk through walls. But I think that there has to be either some technology involved, or it would have to be some spooky shit happen, man. Like some portal opened, or maybe you were on like so much ayahuasca that you were able to do it. I don't know, but
you have to be
Or the-
so incredibly high.
yeah,
And
or the
then,
gateway tapes.
huh?
The gateway process tapes, those the
Yeah.
focus tapes. We should
should
get
get
those,
those.
and
Yeah.
we should play those and just see if like one of us falls through the fucking earth into infinity.
I'll
No,
do
I'm
it.
good.
I'll fucking do it.
You scared
I'm
now all of a sudden?
I've seen Ant-Man and I don't want to experience that. I don't want to experience falling through the multiverse.
Kid says she'll do it.
No, it another thing that I think about constantly, because I also have a lot of things that I can't trust, right? So there's a little bit of conspiracy theorist in me too.
A little bit.
A little bit. It's just not on the same level, right?
Mm.
Or even for the same things. But I totally understand where a lot of the hesitation comes from, because the strength of a civilization or a community is based on the compounding generational knowledge and information that gets passed down, right? And
Sure.
the trust that you're building off of somebody else's foundation that was true. So there could be one piece of this foundation from 30 generations ago that was false, which would make everything that we built on top of it incorrect. And then when you add in the corruptness or the corrupt government and other things that live in this world with us, that purposely corrupt information, it's
I can give
very
you an
easy to
example.
lose trust in everything that's around you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't move forward in that way, right? So what we really need to do, and I know this is gonna get fucking laughed at because it's impossible, but we need to vote out the people who do this shit to us and replace them with people who do it correctly. And I know it's impossible to tell who does do it correctly, who doesn't do it correctly, or who can
Well,
do it.
the only problem with that though, man, like let's just say I'll even grant you that perhaps voting works, okay? And your vote counts. And even if that is the
My vote
case, the
counted.
problem is the problem is beyond that, because it's on a level beyond the hands of government at this point, right? Like you could bring it all the way back to like the Rockefeller education system, right? Like way back in the 1800s, man.
Yeah.
When they built the foundations of what we consider academia, right? Like they laid the definitions out of, and when I say they, I'm talking about the Rockefeller Foundation, right? Like they laid out the definitions of what is archaeology, what is geology, what is biology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? What is physics? And they were the ones who were giving out all the grants, and they were the ones who were literally tarnishing other views and manipulating other people's works. And like when other people's studies were being peer reviewed, they were purposely being tossed aside and laughed at and humiliated because it wasn't part of whatever the system was that the Rockefeller Foundation had set up. And that is like the foundation you're talking about when you say like, oh, something may have been tweaked that fucks the whole thing up. That it's the whole foundation was fucked from the beginning. So like we're over here learning about physics, but there's a
Yeah.
whole other set of fucking physics, and this as well as I do, right? We talk about UAPs and all kinds of
Mhm.
weird spooky shit on the show. So it's like, what is that? Right.
Yeah. I think
like-
what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the whole front half of this fucking episode where we talked about the reviews. It's useless. We're just going to talk about quantum physics. That's what
Sorry.
this.
Well,
no, it's
yeah.
good. It's better.
I was actually just thinking about that. It's going to be, you're going to say, reviewing the first 2 quarters and lots of quantum physics.
Yeah.
I like what Moore said. My guess is that these chips are so simple and cheap to make that they have to make it sound hard and expensive, just like electricity, fuel, and all other quote unquote scarce resources.
Which also brings up something that they mentioned before, and I just wanted to touch on that. There was one line and it said airplanes don't use liquid fuel. I don't know exactly what they were referring to with that statement, but I can tell
I
you
can
from
guarantee you from 15 years of aircraft experience and fueling an
Yeah.
aircraft last week that they absolutely do use liquid fuel. It's called
They do.
JP5, JP8.
JP5, JP8, yeah.
It sucks to
it's
get in your eyes and mouth.
A5, yeah.
Yeah, it stinks to high heaven.
And if
ruins
you
your
touch
clothes.
it, it'll be stuck on your finger for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they absolutely do.
I don't have 15 years of it.
Aircraft experience, both in the military and now in the civilian world, they most definitely use liquid fuel.
They most definitely do. In fact, there's multiple different kinds of liquid fuel, and they categorize it by flashpoint.
But that doesn't prove gravity's real.
No,
So-
it doesn't. That's why gravity is a theory.
Now, I'll tell you
Yeah,
what, though, about
not
that
a-
liquid
not-
fuel, though. You could flick a lit butane torch into it, and it won't set on fire.
Correct.
Will it
because
melt
has-
steel beams?
has a
You know, that's actually
No.
interesting because,
It won't, right?
So
What's the
this is
burn
something
temperature?
that I've thought out about a lot. Now, steel beams are not a million miles thick, right? They
Mhm.
have the ones they use for skyscrapers. I mean, I doubt they're the
Sure, they
same
have
size
a
as the
thickness.
I-beams they use for like a hangar bay, right? They're probably a lot thicker. But we had a ship, a Navy ship, the Bonhomme Richard, that was purposefully set on fire by an arsonist, well, that's what they say. And those ships are filled with jet fuel because they have to fuel the planes and the helicopters that go on the ships. And that thing had irreparable damage done to it. And they're steel
Yep.
ships. There's steel decks in there, steel thick old doors, steel walls, steel everything. The only thing that you get in there that isn't steel is paperwork, is desks, is chairs, is things like that. And that
What happened to
thing
Building 7?
died. That
A bomb?
that freaking that freaking ship died.
Plane never hit Building 7, bro.
Now, if jet fuel can't burn steel beams or can't melt steel beams, then why the hell did that ship have so much damage to it? They could have just closed 2 hatches and been like, all right, it's secured, let it burn out, and then it's
Dude,
done.
Hey, listen.
Because-
you're right.
Compounding things like fuel plus paper plus burnable
Sure.
materials adds more heat, and that heat over time causes structures to be weakened. I don't
You
know
may
how
be
that
right.
fire passed through because those doors that we close on those ships are this thick, and you dog them down with like 30 freaking latches on each side to keep water from
You
going
might be
from one
right,
port
and
to another, right?
you're still a shill, or you're a shill, and
Just saying.
and I'll grant you, shill, that that may have been the case for the towers, but Building 7 was not impacted by a plane, so I still
No.
want to know what melted
I just think
those
it's
steel
funny
beams.
that Al Qaeda loves the fact that we have so little trust in our government that we think that they said that we think that our government destroyed Building 7, and they
Of
want
course.
to use that to basically I don't know what the phrase is I'm trying to go for, but they want to weaponize that against us in order to the next big terrorist attack, the one where they're saying they want to kill 60,000 people all at once or something like that. They want to make
This-
it look like our government did it so that we fall apart and collapse.
To me, that's propaganda. To me, that's our government telling us that the Taliban says that
It could be.
if you think that 9/11 was an inside job, that you're thinking like pro Taliban now, right? Like that's some shit that
Could be.
that George Orwell's fucking government would have. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
Straight out of 1984. Yep.
straight out of 1984. Like, you think it was an inside job? That's what Osama says too. Lock him up.
Yeah, could be.
The Ministry of Peace.
I want to know. Moore said plenty of research into the topic. I have no issue defending it in the face of personal experience. I want to know what the personal experience is.
Me too. You should come on the show, man.
You should.
Yeah, you should.
He says no airplanes were used in the making of 9/11. That's
I'm with
hilarious.
that.
I-
I've seen some super interesting footage that makes you really question.
I have also seen some very interesting footage. Now,
But I also know people that were had to deal with the cleanup and the aftermath, and guess what they were sifting through, as well as body parts and things like that, plane parts.
airplane parts, yeah.
Like
Sure.
one of my supervisors,
Yep.
one of his whole things, one of his fun orders that he got to do was he got to do tours through the Pentagon, and so he would be a tour guide. So it was basically we could do, there's all sorts of different things you can do in the military that don't include being on ships, being in foxholes, being shot at. You could do special orders like the people that get the orders to do like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Those are active duty service members, and those are orders that they get cut, and people request those things. So he got orders to be a tour guide in the Pentagon. The guy who took his place when he got those orders, he was done with that tour and went to do something else. He was killed when that plane hit the building, and he went back to help clean up. And he's like, and you know what we were pulling out of that building? Airplane parts, lots of them, because an entire big old plane smacked into the side of that building. Like, people can say all day long from the back of a computer screen, oh, that never happened. But then there's real people that have had real experiences saying like, yeah, saw this, right? So whatever the video shows, or whatever the people say on the websites, there are real people that experience real stuff that could counter that and say, nope, you're full of crap.
So the Moore says, Jeff, you got his Discord. So we actually have an opening for. Do we have an opening? No, we have an opening for January 12th. If you want to come on, we need to talk to somebody. So I grew up in Middletown, Connecticut, and it's not right next door to New York City, but one of my elementary school teachers' husband died that day at the Trade Center. That's how close enough that I live to it is that people in my town actually work there. A lot of our fire department, local fire departments and everything helped out with a lot of that cleanup. They went down there for weeks at a time to help sift through and pull bodies out and whatnot. And they were talking about the smell of fuel and the airplane parts, and somebody had even brought back you know thinking about it now, it was probably just a piece of like a cotter pin, Jake. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
as a kid, I didn't realize what it was, but they were telling me that it was a piece of hardware from a plane. It just looked like one of those bobby pins from a girl's hair. But now that I'm older and I worked 8 years on naval aviation aircraft and stuff, it's something called a cotter pin. Um, so there
For
you
them
know
castellated nuts.
was yeah, castellated nuts. But so do I believe that airplanes hit the towers? I do. But do I believe that's the reason why the towers fell? No. I actually align closer with Jeff. I think that there was a lot of really fucked up shit that happened. There's a ton of evidence um, for an a jetliner, a 747, not being enough to be able to drop those two towers. And then when you add Building 7 into the mix, uh,
That was a weird
things
one.
yeah, Building 7 is absolutely
Not only that, you
incredible.
you can add BBC's reporting on Building 7 collapsing like 12 some odd minutes before it collapsed. Live on the air, BBC reported Building 7 has collapsed,
Well,
and Building 7 is still
that's because
standing behind them.
the BBC is reporting from hours ahead of us. So
Yeah.
No, the building was standing behind them.
no, I know, but they're in the future because they're like 10 hours ahead
Oh,
of
I
where we
see. It
are.
was a
You
He's
know,
okay,
joking,
okay.
dude.
I got it.
it's
Yeah.
like when I was deployed out in South Korea and I said, "Hey, Happy New Year," and I was 14 hours ahead of
Right. No,
the
I
people
get
I
it.
was
I get
talking
it. I get
to.
it.
You know,
But it's just super interesting. And then there's so many other questions. I mean, you talk about the Patriot Act, you talk about the $2 trillion that the Pentagon had unaccounted the day before Donald Rumsfeld did that speech, and he's like, yeah, we just can't account for like 2.7 trillion or whatever the fucking number was. And then bam, the next day, and then you talk about the list that was drafted up for the 7 countries that we were going to invade in 5 years and take over in the Middle East, right? And then bam, 9/11 happens, and then we go in there. So there's just it's definitely not what we're told, right? Like planes or no planes, you know you could convince me one way or the other, it doesn't fucking matter. The event happened, of course, right?
more you're
That's
not
what matters.
you're not one of those people that say that the World Trade Centers were a hologram this entire time, were you? I've met
The
a
whole
guy who
time.
said that, and he was
I've been
serious.
in the World Trade Centers.
Well, this is the thing about conspiracy theories, right? Like, and I hate to use that term, but it just is what it is, right? But like conspiracy theories, right? Like, there's some really good evidence on some of the shit and a lot of the stuff that we talk about. But there's a lot of people that will just go so far to the extremes. A lot of dumb dumbs out there, a lot of NPCs that will grab the code, right? And they'll run with the code and like they just make it look super terrible, right? Like they do no justice for the model, whatever the theory is. So and that's the problem is like most of those are either psyops, I think. Like there's actual so like flat earth is a good example of this. The flat earth society is literally a psyop. It's literally like designed to put out the most ridiculous flat earth information so that most of the general public laughs at flat earth instantaneously, right? They're like
Yeah, but I heard that
anything.
that was like made up on 4chan. It was just a bunch of buddies that were just like, let's try to convince people the Earth is flat, and it took off.
It's like it's a total fucking psyop, dude, is what I'm trying to tell you. There's some people, right? There's not very many, but there are some people who like truly understand the proper models, and nobody who's a real flat earther knows the model, right? Like that's the whole thing. If you're a real flat earther, you don't think that it's this model or that model. You don't know, right? And that's the
Mhm.
whole thing. So anybody who's like, I'm a flat earther and this is the model, like those people have just been captured by a psyop and are running with this fake conspiracy. So, and I'm not saying the Moore is guilty of this, but when you see people say like the towers were holograms or like the planes were holograms, it's like, okay, man, listen, you just been caught up in like the web of like mishmash conspiracy theories on the internet, and you've created this or whatever. You have this like weird version of this thing. Like the presidents aren't actually lizards. They're not lizard people, right? They're just
I think I'm a
operating off.
reptilian.
They're right. That's the whole point, right? When people laugh
Yeah.
at like reptilians, it's like there's not really lizard people dressed and masquerading around as people as our politicians know. They're just human beings operating off the reptilian part of the brain. They're parasitic individuals, right? And that you could like start going into all these questions about like, is it demonic or spiritual, whatever the questions are. But like, you know, that's the whole idea about all of these conspiracy theories. Crystal was asking me the other day, she was like, what's the difference between a contrail and a chemtrail? This is another good example. Most people will laugh at chemtrails. They're like, that's a contrail, you fucking idiot. It's like, no, you're a fucking idiot because there's both.
What's we should anybody in the chat, if you guys ever want to come on the show and just have a conversation with us, especially, the more if you have, some pretty good evidence to back up some of the stuff, by all means bring it. Let's talk. We have screen shares so we can play videos, we can, look at pictures, all that good stuff. I'd love to be taken through the wild side of 9/11. I think it'd be an absolute blast. It's something we haven't done yet. And I think that it'd be cool to pick through.
Well, we just recently started getting into conspiracies, so it makes sense.
Yeah. For a while there, we were playing with glass toys, and we were afraid that we were going to get kicked off and all that stuff. Now we don't care. We're just gonna play with the big boys, right, Jeff?
Yeah, man.
But all right. Well, I don't think we're gonna do the review of the rest of 2024.
We could.
Was there anything we missed?
I think both of you are insane.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, but yeah, I think I'm a reptilian because I'm always cold. Like right now, I'm shivering, man. It's cold in here. It's probably like 80 degrees, but I'm always cold. I'm fond of laying on hot rocks in the sun.
You just need magnesium. You have a magnesium deficiency.
I have green blood, and I'm ashy. So I'm just like, I'm probably reptilian. I think it's mostly the green blood one. That's the one that kind of got me. I was just like, oh, that's weird. Just like a reptile.
There's probably reptilian alien. If you want to go believing in aliens, there would probably be reptilian aliens as well.
I mean, of course, on those cold planets out in the middle of nowhere.
Don't get me started on. We're gonna go down.
No, it has to be a hot planet. Reptilian.
We're gonna go down another hour about this.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, sorry. In the vastness, empty void of space.
I have something back here for that. Let's see.
Final thoughts from me. Rockefeller education system has put us all in a box that it's nearly impossible for us to think outside of. Right? Physics, archaeology, history, you name it. And I think of all the good that it's provided the world, because it has, of course, right? Like we're talking through the internet. That's fucking cool. So there's a lot of great stuff that this technology has done, but I think that there's also like this box that we exist in, and then there's probably a mix of nefarious reasons for that, and also just like idiot incompetence and corruption, just leading down the line to where we're at. So I think that we have to like break out of this type of system. Like I'm pretty gung-ho on the whole burn it down, rebuild it.
Well, what does that mean? Like how do you break out of something that's been built up around us for so long?
Well, I don't know, man. It's hard to say, but like, there's certain institutions, like it's weird because like I'm on a political side, right? I would lean more right, and I'd be against like what you would talk about, these leftists talk about burning down the institutions and like restarting everything. Like to me, that's like ridiculous. We live in the greatest country in the world, but at the same time, my conspiracy brain is like these systems that we are in control by, right? They're just keeping us here like in this weird fucking cycle, and maybe we should burn it all down in some way and rebuild it.
Maybe not burn it all down, but definitely pull out the parts that are pull out the parts. Like what Jeremy said, it's impossible to do, but vote out the people that are purposefully corrupt. But the problem with that is you might get someone in there that really wants to do some good, and then they end up being corrupted as well. So you can't really, was absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's like,
Mhm.
you get these people that, I think the best way to describe it is when Jeremy and I were in the military, you'd see people being like, well, when I make the next rank, I am not going to be like this a-hole of a supervisor that I have. And most of them had great intentions, but as soon as they made that rank, they became that a-hole that
They did.
they had. I've only seen a couple examples where that didn't happen, getting up to like the higher enlisted sides, like the E7s, the E8s, the E9s, where they actually stayed the same people. Out of the thousands of people I met in the military and I had careers with, there was like 3 that didn't become that person. And whether that was from, I'm not saying it's because of power necessarily, but because of stress, because of needing to break into that leadership role or whatever it was, they did not stay the person that they swore they would, right? They became what they hated. And, and they couldn't see that. It takes an outside perspective generally to see, hey man, you're an asshole. It's just like, I am? I don't think I am. It's like, no, you are, because that's not up to you. That's up to everyone else around you who's affected by you, right? But I think that's what happens when people get into those positions. I think it's not surprising when you see that happen, right? We're going to drain the swamp, and then they become the swamp. Right. I'm not pointing to anyone specifically when I say that, but that's, that's like the most, I guess, widely
And then the
used
black
phrase
pill
these
part of
days,
you just is like, burn it down, brother. Like,
Yeah,
just
I mean,
start over,
start from scratch, just go back to the beginning, but it's just like,
collapse the dollar, make
I think
Bitcoin
the
number 1, and then
system,
we're all fucking good.
the idea of the system was the purest form of the system. And then once it started going into play, immediately corruption started
Mhm.
happening. So it's like I don't think with the way that people are so fallible, so prone to failure, so prone to greed and lust and, evil desires, in this lifetime, you will never be able to have a system that works flawlessly. There will always be these problems. Maybe not right away, but eventually there will be these problems. So even scrapping it and starting from scratch, the only way that's going to work out is in the new heaven and the new earth where Jesus literally blows the universe apart. It says with a great sound that the that the atoms liquefy and stuff like that. It sounds like an atomic explosion, but basically and then he sets himself up to reign over the earth for 1,000 years. And it's the only time in human history where there's peace, absolute peace, because he is infallible. He's not prone to corruption. He's not prone to that sort of stuff, right? To greed and lust and evil. So you'll never get a perfect system. It will always be Venezuela. It'll always be the corrupt United States. It will always be this until it isn't anymore,
Yeah.
So that's
Just
the
black
problem. Is
pill me
that people
enough, and I'll
suck,
just Neuralink us all, man. Neuralink us all, jack us in, just let
I'd
me be all
rather be
nutted
dead
out.
than get a
Fuck
chip
it.
in my head.
I'll just be nutted out, fucking just watching ads all
Throw us in the
day.
Matrix. Feed our liquidified bodies to the machines.
Speaking of, I grabbed this because anybody who's anybody has probably read this book. Speaking of the Matrix, this book right here, "Children of the Matrix" by
Ooh, that looks like a
by
reptilian face.
by a good buddy David. Yeah, that's what made me go grab this. This is a absolutely intense book.
I never read it, but I did do an audio book of it. So
Did you? I didn't even know it was on
yeah.
audio book. That's a lot of book
Yeah.
to be listening to.
Yeah, man.
I've read it twice now. And David Icke always has some really, really good information.
David Icke's the man. Did you send that email?
No, you never sent me the email to send the email to.
He never emailed me back, but I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay.
I
Well-
probably went a little too. I was a little too much like, oh my god, David Icke.
Oh my God, David, let me suck you off,
please,
David.
I love you. I'll send him a couple. There's a couple of feed pics attached to the email too, just in case. You never know.
All right. Well, one more time. Anybody in the chat who wants to come on? We have an opening on January 12th for a live episode, just like this one right here. Let us know, and we'll get it worked out. If
Yeah,
you
the
know,
more. Come on, January 12th. Put it in the calendar.
well, we got it. Let's get that confirmed. Let's get that confirmed first, because I do
Yeah, I'm
have.
telling you in the chat right now. I'm telling you, confirm it.
I'm
Confirm it.
working on getting a couple other guests. We got some pretty cool ones coming up. I mean,
Milk is a psyop for those who
The,
died drinking milk.
all milk comes from big feet boobies.
We got Frank coming on.
Every one of them. No, but I do have. I have Alex from Northwoods Bricks coming on. If you're unfamiliar, Northwoods Bricks does these cryptid Legos. They're pretty cool. So it'll probably won't be so conspiracy theory ish, but we'll talk about some cool cryptid stuff and the company and how that got started and stuff. That'd be pretty neat. And then we're gonna have Denver Michaels come back on sometime in late January.
I love Denver Michaels.
And I am currently
I love Denver.
doing back-to-back or in the middle of a back-to-back conversation with Kenny W. Irish, the crypto punkologist,
At
to come
least
on and
get
talk
my
about
voice
his
right.
new book. Which that episode will be on a Tuesday. I did work out that he cannot do Sundays, so that episode will be on a Tuesday. So check out the socials. Pay attention, because one of these weeks coming up here in January will be live on Tuesday. All right. I don't really have any. Oh, I earned my very first paying job from being part of this podcast. So, yeah,
That's not
I'm gonna.
true.
He's gonna be talking about kink stuff.
It's not kink stuff.
That's
It's
not true. You got paid
cryptozoology.
by Paranormal Network already.
Oh,
No, that's true.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, my
he's up
second
there.
ever paid job. I'm getting moving on up, everybody. Moving on up.
Number one in Uganda. Feet. He's talking about feet.
Number one.
Probably
in
specifically
fucking
big
Uganda,
feet,
boys.
but
Let's
yeah.
go. Hey, share this show with Uganda. Let my people know
Yes.
that Infinite Rabbit Hole needs to be up there, number 1 and number 12 in Uganda.
Hell yeah.
All right. I'm
Hell
here.
yeah.
I'm shouting
Do
them
it.
out, man. I love these people. These are my people.
Yeah.
Also
Jeff
Nigerian.
and I go back like 3 years now.
I love Nigerians as well. I am Nigerian, in case anybody didn't know.
He's a Nigerian prince.
He is.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm probably the only one in this group right now who the federal government said that I'm black on my entrance paper into the Navy, but whatever.
I can see it.
That's true. All right. Well, if you are not following us here on Twitch, please do so. Leave us a 5-star rating if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to your podcast. This episode is actually going to be quick edited and released as our New Year special come Tuesday. So, yeah, that's it, everybody. We'll see you on the back end and at the beginning of 2025. Have a good one. Oh, Jeff. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jeff.
We have
Come
one
on,
more episode.
come on, kid.
until
Give
then.
him a Happy New
Wait.
Year.
We have one more episode, right?
No, this is it.
Oh, okay. Well, Happy New Year.
Well, we were going to record an episode with you and Kramer, but you never confirmed it for me.
I did confirm it. I thought
you
we were
didn't.
still doing that.
Are we doing it?
Yeah.
When?
Yes, when?
New Year. New
When?
Year's Eve. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve? Tuesday?
That's what you said.
All right. For sure. 100%. Can you confirm that for me?
I already confirmed. Yes, you are confirmed. We are confirmed.
Okay, cool. All right, you
Confirmed.
guys hear that? Tuesday, we are going live with the both the parties of Shadowban podcast. Is it going to be like a what is it, swap pod or swap cast, whatever? You guys taking it too and posting it?
Like an orgy?
Yeah. Like
Orgy,
a podcast
Orgy
orgy.
cast.
You show me yours, and
I'll look at yours.
I
You show me it and I'll look at it.
was trying not to say something that would definitely get us banned, but all right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
everybody.
New Year.
Well, we'll see you guys in the next fork in the path of the infinite rabbit hole. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. The show is off. We are now in the green.